This is Capital Games, I am the Wiz. It is the beginning of a new month, which means new release time at Capital Games. This is around the time where I look at all the new releases that are coming out in the following month and discuss what I think the sales might be or what the possibilities might be for those games. Looks like we have some big releases this week. We have one huge release, of course, that you might already know about. But we have some potentially big sales numbers coming up in this month, so it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. But before we get to the new games, let's start off with the ports of old games that are coming out this month. Ports are including Hogwarts Legacy for PS4 and Xbox One coming May 5th, East 9 Monstrum Nox for PS5 May 9th, Farming Simulator 23 for Switch May 23rd, and Company of Heroes 3 is being ported to consoles on PS5 and Xbox Series X and S on May 30th. From those ports, of course, I'm going to look at Hogwarts Legacy. That game will probably sell, I think, another 1 million units, maybe a little bit more than that, depending on if the version of it is still good. If it runs like crap, then probably not, but we'll expect some downgrades for that. But on the other hand, you know, I think that will actually do pretty well. East 9 Monstrum Nox, I know East 8 already came to PS5, but Monstrum Nox did alright, I think, with people who are fans of the East series. I watch a lot of YouTube channels that cover RPGs, and they loved East 8, and they're kind of lukewarm on East 9. But, yeah, I mean, that could sell alright, I guess, but I don't really think, it might, we'll see. Farming Simulator 23, I don't know. I mean, Farming Simulator actually does pretty well sales-wise. I don't know if it's going to get much more on the Switch, but we'll see. And Company of Heroes 3, I still don't see the reason as to why they're releasing that on consoles, really, because that is strictly a PC-based gaming series. It's a real-time strategy game, so I don't see the reason why they're putting it on there, and I don't recall a lot of games that were RTSs that really sold very well. I don't even think Halo Wars or in Halo Wars 2 sold incredibly well. They may have sold all right, but not like gangbusters. But yeah, I mean, we'll see about that. I also want to point out that Star Trek Resurgence finally got a release date of May 23rd. The reason why I'm not covering it as the new games is because I covered it last month, because the date was still sometime in April, but there was no word as to when in April, but they announced in the middle of April that it was coming May. So if you want to know my thoughts on that, you can check out last month's new releases. I said that I think it was the last game I talked about on there. So check that out there, and if you want my thoughts on that. All right, so let's get to the new releases that are coming out this month, and we're going to start with the game that is coming out today, I think. I think it's today. It's either today or tomorrow, which is May 1st or May 2nd. And that's Redfall, coming to Xbox Series X and S and PC, and it's going to be on Game Pass as well. So, Redfall, I was very interested in when I first saw it, and then when I started seeing more about it, I became, I still was interested, but I had to gauge my expectations a little as to what it was. I thought it was originally, I think like a lot of people, I thought it was going to be a Left 4 Dead with vampires. But then it turned out to be a co-op shooter along the lines of, I think, Borderlands, but with vampires, I think. I was interested in playing it. I still am to a certain extent, but my expectations have cooled a little, mainly because of the things that have been announced with it that are going on right now. For example, even if you have it on Xbox Series X and S, you're only getting 30 frames. Preview coverage has not been great, but can you really trust preview coverage from the big websites nowadays? Not really, but again, it didn't look especially great. It is on Game Pass, so I'm going to try it with Zero at some point, so I will check it out and see what it's like. It's hard to gauge sales on Redfall since it is a Game Pass game. So I can't really get into depth as to what I think the sales are. The other thing I can really say is if it will probably sell pretty well on PC, which I think no, not really. I think because it's a Game Pass. Like, even if you have it on Steam, I think more people are just going to spend $15 and play it on Game Pass and spend $70 on Steam. So I don't see that being that's going to get a lot of sales. Now, I'll be interested in seeing what the game is and what keeps people keep playing the game, because if there's a lot of that stuff in that game, then I can see that being something that is played often with people who have Game Pass. And if they have microtransactions, which are likely are going to have, that might help boost the sales and the money that it makes. So we'll see what happens with Redfall. Right now, I'm not sure where it goes, but I think this might... I don't think it's going to be a huge seller, but I'm not going to say it's a bomb either, but it really depends on what the game is. Also, May 2nd, Age of Wonders 4, PC, Xbox Series X and S, and PS5. This is a series that I've been interested in, but I've never got into. I actually have all 3 of the Age of Wonders games on PC. Like, I have 3 right now as we speak. And I have Planetfall. I don't even know what Planetfall is. But what these are, essentially, they're turn-based strategy games. But they're kind of in the vein of Heroes of Might and Magic. But they're also 4X games. So it's got this, it's not only got that Heroes of Might and Magic feel to it, but it also has like that Civilization feel as well. So it's something that, like looking at it, I'd be really interested in, but I've never gotten into any of them. And I don't think that's going to change in 4, but these do sell pretty well. According to Google, which I'm getting from Wikipedia, Age of Wonders 3 sold about 500,000 copies as of March 2016. I would probably guess it's probably reached somewhere around 600,000 by now, possibly. Which, for a PC game that is as niche as that is, that's not bad. Unless the game is an absolute dog, I would expect that to make as much sales as that. Nothing in it really makes me feel like it's gotten down at all, really. It's something that when I look at it on paper, it's like, wow, that's really interesting, but I just never get into them, and I can't explain why. That's Age of Wonders 4 for PC, Xbox Series X and S, and PS5. Coming out of early access, Darkest Dungeon 2 for PC, May 8th. I was a big fan of Darkest Dungeon, even though I couldn't beat it, and I always died, and I always did terribly. That's kind of my curse, especially with roguelikes. I'm a roguelike fiend. I love roguelike games, but I never beat them, to be fair. But, yeah, I definitely enjoy these games, and I think I got this on... it's not on Steam yet, but it's on Epic, and I don't think I got it on Epic. I will probably pick this up if the price is not bad. I think it's $30, so I might pick this up. It looks like they improved the first game by a lot with animations and the way it looks. They add some other aspects to the games as well on top. It looks as good as the first. I'm wondering what more depth they have from the first that they have in the second. But I think if there is more depth for fans of that game, it's going to sell pretty well. So that's Darkest Dungeon 2 on PC, coming May 8th out of early access. May 9th, Dokapon Kingdom Connect for the Switch, May 9th. Some of you who are old like me might think, well, Dokapon Kingdom, that sounds familiar. It is an old PS2 game that also came out as a remade on the Wii, and then that's being remade again to be on the Switch. If you're a collector of Wii games, Dokapon Kingdom apparently is a very expensive game to collect. They didn't make much copies of it, and it didn't sell very well, so there are not a lot of US copies of Dokapon Kingdom. So Dokapon Kingdom Connect is basically that game again, only online, and that's really it. I think they add some graphical flourishes and stuff like that, but Dokapon Kingdom is what they call it is a RPG / board game. It kind of reminded me of Coldcept. I don't know if a lot of you remember Coldcept, but Coldcept was on PS2. They also had one on Xbox 360, and they did the final one on 3DS. It is a board game / card collecting game. It was actually really good, but they take a long time to beat. It is a slog at times to play. They're interesting games. I would be interested in Dokapon Kingdom, but it's also $50. And I don't have many other people to play with. I mean, I would convince Zero to go ahead and buy it, but, you know, he's got his own stuff to do, so, you know, whatever. Dokapon Kingdom Connect coming May 9th. May 11th, Fuga Melodies of Steel 2 for all systems. Fuga 1 became not a bestseller, but a surprise hit. It is a turn-based RPG where you're in a tank. In certain cases, you have to use your people that you have in the tank sparingly as ammo in order to defeat enemies. I think that's how it goes. It looked interesting. It had an interesting style to it. It gained a bit of a fan base, not a big one, but enough to where I guess it warranted a sequel. So people are definitely interested in the sequel, and it looks like CyberConnect 2 is doing that. Okay, so if we look at the sales for Fuga Melodies of Steel 1, according to CyberConnect 2, it sold about 150K. Like, if you look at the type of game it is and how small it is, that's really good. That's some really good numbers. I guess it's not a surprise that it got a sequel. I guess the question is that if it will actually reach that or get better. And that really depends on what it is. If you have to play the first one to play the second one, I'm going to guess no. But if you don't and they just may make it a different story, it could work. I think it is possible. We'll see on that. It's coming to all systems. That is PC, Switch, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, PS5. Coming to the Switch, May 12th, this is the big one. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. As of December of last year, 29 million units have sold for Breath of the Wild. I don't think I have to tell you that's huge. Do I think it's going to reach it? Eventually. I don't think it's going to reach it as fast as the first one. Here's what I think is going to happen with Tears of the Kingdom. Some of the reports that are going on right now for preview coverage is saying, oh, it's the same great game, but it chugs. The frame rate dips. The Switch has a hard time processing a lot of things that are going on. You can tell that it's struggling to play the game. What my feeling of this is, it's going to sell very well on the Switch. Don't get me wrong. I would say 15, 20 million. I'll get more into that before it comes out in my own segment when I have it next week. My feeling is that the sales that they're going to get to beat Breath of the Wild are going to be from the new system, because they're going to port that game. The new Nintendo system they're going to have next time is going to be updated with better graphics and much more power, and I think that will help sell that up. And Nintendo fans have no problem buying a game twice. I'm one of them, unfortunately. I think eventually Tears of the Kingdom will do it, but not right away. That's it. That's Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom coming May 12th to Switch. May 16th, Amnesia the Bunker. It is coming to PC. The official website has PC. Every website I've gone on to has also said it's coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S. The PC release is May 16th. I'm not sure that if it's coming to those other consoles May 16th. It may come another time, so we'll see. So assume that it's only coming to PC right now, Amnesia the Bunker. These are horror games that sell pretty well. A lot of horror games also go viral with certain types of content creators. So if they pick this up and they play it and they show it off, that's going to boost sales as well. And I think that's possible that will happen too. So we will see exactly how this goes. But I think for the most part, this will do pretty well unless this turns out to be an absolute bomb. We will see when that happens. That is Amnesia the Bunker, May 16th, coming to PC. As far as I know, it is coming to PC, but the consoles, not sure just yet. Next up, May 16th, Humanity, PC, PS4, PS5. This is the puzzle game that has been on that's involved the people running around in a puzzle that's been on State of Play a couple of times already. I'm not sure if this is a PS Plus game. I don't think it is. But it is coming to PS5 and PS4. It is going to be $30, and it looks interesting. I think it might sell pretty well. So there's not much more to say about it other than that. It looks good. People are interested in it. So I think it will sell pretty well. So that is Humanity, PC, PS4, PS5 on May 16th. May 18th, coming out of early access for PC, the Outlast Trials. I believe this is a co-op horror game that you play with other people. The few times I have seen horror games do co-op, they don't seem to work very well. So I don't know what Outlast Trials is doing different. I haven't played it. I'm not interested in it at all, really. But I guess if you're going to play a horror game where a bunch of naked men with their dongs out try and fight and kill you, you might as well do it with other people, right? So yeah, that's the Outlast Trials, May 18th out of early access. Outlast is a series that's fairly popular, But I think it's going to be interesting to see what sells better, Amnesia or the Outlast Trials. I think it'll be Amnesia, to be absolutely honest. But we'll see. Here's a big game that's coming out this week. May 19th, Lego 2K Drive. PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One. Basically, what this is Forza, but with Lego cars. And a part of me is really interested in that. That looks really cool. I want to see exactly how much depth this game has. With that being said, I'm not sure where to go with that. So I am definitely interested. I will probably wait for reviews, but because it's a Lego game, it will sell really well. I don't know how well because it doesn't have a brand attached to it. Like the Lego Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Harry Potter games, they sell really well. But like the Lego City Undercovers, those really don't sell that well. But they sell okay, but they sell not as well. So it's going to be interesting what they do with Lego 2K Drive on this, but I will be interested. I will wait for reviews, but we will see with that. So that's coming out May 19th on all systems except Switch. May 23rd, Warhammer 40k Boltgun, coming to all systems. This is a cool looking game, I gotta admit. So it's a boomer shooter, but with voxels set in the Warhammer 40k universe. You play a Space Marine, and you're basically shooting, I guess, orcs? I don't know. I'm not really into Warhammer, to be absolutely honest. But yeah, so it looks interesting, and I'm definitely curious about it. It's $20. I think it's like $21 on Steam. I don't get why, but it's $20 when you purchase it. But it does look pretty neat in that case. But and for a $20 game, I might give it a shot. It is definitely a speed-based, kill everything that moves boomer shooter that looks pretty neat, in my opinion. So I'll be interested in that specifically. Warhammer 40k games seem to sell all right. I don't know how much that will sell, but we'll see. So that's coming May 23rd. May 25th, The Lord of the Rings Gollum, PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S. I have heard nothing but bad things about this, and everything I've seen has not been good either. It looks muddy, it looks ugly, it just looks terrible. I don't think anybody has been asking to play a game as Gollum from Lord of the Rings. That's another thing that I was like, why? Why are we doing this? And I'm not seeing a lot of people who are interested in playing this either. Okay, so it's $50 on Steam. I'm going to guess it's $50 everywhere, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's $60 on the current systems. I do not see this selling well, even for a Lord of the Rings game. I don't even think people who are into Lord of the Rings wants to play as Gollum. And unless this surprises a lot of people, I think this will bomb. I think this will do terribly. That's Lord of the Rings Gollum, PC, PS4 and 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Xbox. And finally, the remake of System Shock, coming to PC May 30th. I have heard next to nothing about this game. Like, I mean nothing. I have heard zero. But then again, it's just a PC-only game, so I guess there might be a possibility that I haven't heard anything because I don't cover or I don't watch a lot of that for just PC. For System Shock, a game that a lot of game designers use as a reference for first-person shooter games with stories like BioShock. It is pretty important for people to play that game if they like those types of games as well. So that will be interesting, and it will be interesting to see what they do new with it. It looks good. I might give it a shot when it goes on the consoles. I'm not one who likes to play with keyboard and mouse. Unless System Shock Remake has it on, you can play as on a controller, I'm probably not going to play it, but, it looks pretty good. So we'll see on that. So that's System Shock Remake, PC, May 30th. Well, that's it for the new releases. This is kind of a light month, but then again, you have one huge game that is releasing this month, and that's, of course, Tears of the Kingdom. And that's going to sell really well. So that's going to be a dead first. I think it's going to be Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom will obviously be the number one. Number two will probably Lego 2K Drive. I think that's going to sell pretty well. And then let's do Hogwarts Legacy third. Let's do that. And those are the three games I think that will sell the most this month. Definitely Legend of Zelda will be number one when after it releases in sales. Will it beat the last few months like Hogwarts Legacy? I'm mean, well, it will definitely beat that, but will anything else beat that? No, I don't think so. Well, number one will be Legend of Zelda, and Legend of Zelda will be number one for a little while, but I think we're going to still see the same ones on top, as it always has been. So what do you think? What are you interested in new releases this month? Of course, are you interested in Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, or you're interested in any of the other smaller games? Let me know on the comments, and if there is something that you want me to cover that I did not cover for this month, go ahead and leave a comment or leave a suggestion at my email at zerowizcast@gmail.com, and I might do that on the weekly dividend. But until then, I am the Wiz. This is Capital Games. Talk to you next time. Bye. Thank you for checking out Capital Games, where we cover the business side of the video game industry. Please like, subscribe, and comment if you enjoyed the video. You can also subscribe to the podcast if you prefer to have it on your podcast feed. And check us out on our socials and email us if you have a question, comment, or suggestion. Thank you for watching and listening. We'll hear from you next time.